All right, hey everybody, welcome to IA Command. And on this episode, or this video, I guess, we're going to be doing a tutorial for how to play Imperial Assault Skirmish on Tabletop Simulator, which is a program for playing tabletop games on your computer in a 3D environment. So I think a lot of people who play Imperial Assault online are going to be most familiar with Vassal. That is a long-standing, long-used program that uses a 2D interface to simulate a game of Imperial Assault. And I think it's really good for people to play online. I think that's the standard and will remain the standard for online Imperial Assault skirmish play, especially competitive skirmish play. However, I think with the current situation that we're having right now, where people can't really go to their local game store, they have to stay home. I think a lot of people are really missing that kind of tactile, spatial experience with the models on a table, and I think Tabletop Simulator can do a really good job of bridging that. And I think that currently the skirmish module that is available for Tabletop Simulator has come so far. The person who works on it, I know him as Treviz84 on the Slack and on the forums, has put a ton of work into this module and made it really sing. Like, I've been playing around with it, and it is a lot better than any TTS module I've ever used. And honestly, I think it actually might compete with Vassal, but we'll see about that. So anyway, this is going to be a tutorial on how to use Tabletop Simulator to play Imperial Assault. Let's get into it. Let's get through the annoying, frustrating, sad part first. I mean, it's maybe not frustrating, but anyway, we need to get ourselves onto Tabletop Simulator. This is a app that is sold through the Steam client. It does cost money. It's not free, unlike Vassal. It does cost $20. So to get it, you'll need to go to the store.steampower.com website. And then in the search here, we'll just type in Tabletop Simulator. Should pop up pretty quick. It's a very popular, one of their popular games. As you can see here, it costs $19.99 American. They do often have it on sale. Usually it goes on sale for like $10 a lot. So make sure to check if you want to get a discount, but otherwise it will set you back $20. But after that, you don't have to pay anything more. That's just a one-time payment. So clicking on that will take you to the Tabletop Simulator page. You'll have to create a Steam account to be able to log in and download it. There will be instructions for, just follow the regular instructions for downloading and installing the program through your Steam client. And then once you do that, the next step is you need to go and get the actual module. And to do that, you'll just type in Imperial Assault Skirmish. This is the actual page for it. I'm going to link to it in the channel so you don't have to go through. There's a ton of different fan-made modules that people have tried to make. And by the way, this is only for the Skirmish module. There are modules available for campaign play and for like the app, but I'm not going to be covering those. I'm just going to be going over how to use this particular module for playing Skirmish. And this is the module. It is created by user Icon, but I know him as Treviz. And once you get to this page, what you'll want to do is scroll down a little bit, and you'll see a little green subscribe button. You're going to click on that. It's going to get added to your subscriptions, and then you'll want to boot up the Tabletop Simulator software after you do that. So let's go into the simulator software. And again, I'm not going to be showing you how to install it. That's something you can figure out on your own through Steam. It's a very streamlined process. Anyway, once you fire it up, you'll get brought to this menu, this main menu. So if you're new to Tabletop Simulator, if you haven't used it for any of their games, I recommend going through the tutorial. It'll teach you the basic controls, how you can move your camera around, change camera, how to interact with objects. It'll teach you how to rotate objects, how to zoom in, all that stuff you kind of need to know to just be able to interact with the client on a basic level. And once you go through that, oh, silly me, I did not get rid of this browser. There we go. So like I was saying, this is what the main menu looks like for Tabletop Simulator. This is going to be the icon for the tutorial that you're going to want to do. Once you go through the tutorial, You can also mess with the options. And we are gonna go, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna do a create. Now you can either do a single player offline, and if you want to mess with the client, the module, and kind of get a feel for it on your own, this is a good way to do it. But if you're ready to play against another player, you're gonna make a multiplayer game. You're gonna put in your server name here so that whoever you're playing against can find your game. And you can make it public, friends, or invite. If you do public, you have to, I believe you have to input a password. Oh no, excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, so you can make an invite, you can invite people, friends if you have friends on Steam, and then if you make it public, you'll put in a password that you'll then give to whoever wants to join it. So that way you don't just have random people popping in. Okay, so once we do that, I'm going to make this an invite because I don't want people bumping into us. You can also set your max players up to 10. I'm going to make it 2. And if you want to have spectators, you'll want to set it up to 10. And then let's hit create. And then if you're trying to join someone's game, you'll use join instead, and it'll show you a list of all the games that are available, and you can just type in the name based on what whoever you're playing tells you to look for. All right, so let's create this server because we're going to want to be in a multiplayer. Now it's going to bring you to this. So you're going to want to open the module you just got. And you're going to do that by going into the workshop, and it's going to show you all the games and modules that you've subscribed to. And you're going to want to open up the Imperial Assault Skirmish module that we just subscribed to. All right, so once we do that, it's going to load all the objects. Tabletop Simulator is a really great alternative to Vassal if you have a small screen, I've found, and also a good graphics processor. But like I've noticed, Vassal takes up a lot of screen space with all the different windows. The nice thing about Tabletop Simulator is it's all in one screen because you can just move around in a 3D environment. So let's talk about first thing we're going to do, actually let's just talk about everything that's kind of on here. So these areas are your player areas, red player and blue player set up. When you first load a game, you're going to be starting off as a white player, which is not helpful. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up to where your username is here, and you're going to change color. So you can do either red or blue player. If you're gray, you can be a spectator, and you can also choose black, which will show you all the hidden information like cards in players' hands. If you're going to spectate, I recommend doing the gray. With black, it becomes easy to tip off one player or another accidentally. So anyway, we're going to be the blue player for this demonstration, although I might move around. So as you can see, we've got our map area in the middle here. You can actually cycle through all the different maps in the game using the number pad, not the number pad, but the number keys on the top of your keyboard. And you can either type in the numbers. So I'm just typing 3, 4. It goes from oldest to newest. And then if you want, like I'll type in 36 here. It'll give me now Hutta. And then you can also right click and do state. And that's going to show you which each one correlates to as far as a number. So whatever map you're looking to play on, you can load it that way. But you can also load it. Travis has set up an automated scripting, so you can load a map automatically. And I'm kind of messing with my mouse and the keys. So let's go down here, and we'll show you everything we've got available. On both player sides, you'll see all of the deployment cards. However, you won't really need to use them because Travis has inputted a scripting, a new script in the module that allows you to load from an online list builder. And we'll do that in just a moment. Over here, again, same thing, all deployment cards, command cards. These are actually all of our IACP deployment and command cards. So all of IACP content has been loaded into this module, which is great. And then you'll see you have a bunch of mission cards here. So all of the mission cards in Skirmish are in this module. This one is going to be all the ones that don't have scripting attached. And then these 16, I know he's told me he's actually working on getting all of the skirmish missions in the game scripted, but for now he's got 16. You can flip these over and go through them. And as you can see, we've got, so I know he has all the tournament maps. So let's do that. So here we go. We've got Coruscant back allies, I believe is this one. So what you'll do is you'll drag it over to this area where it says place mission card here. And then we're going to hit this setup button. I'm going to zoom out. See if I can zoom out here. So you hit setup and boom, setups the map automatically, puts all the tokens, doors, terminals, everything's out there, all in beautiful 3D full color, and you can totally move around the map. So yeah, you can do that for a lot of maps. I know he's got, let's see, so Triple Cross, he had Lothal, even though nobody wants to play that anymore. And he's got some non-standard ones. Let's see, well, Tarkin was tournament. And as you can see, you can totally set up over a map. He's got some non-tournament ones, like this is from Sabine and Zeb. So anyway, that's how you do that. So let's talk about how to get a list into this client. So let's load a list from, so we'll go up to here. So this is the Tabletop Admiral importer. And all you have to do is copy your link from Tabletop Admiral. And I'm actually going to be able to show you this, how to do it without leaving the client, without leaving Tabletop Simulator. You don't actually have to go into that. So what we'll do is we'll click on objects up here, components, tools, and then there's a tablet tool here. And we'll just rotate that. And that actually lets you connect to the internet without leaving the client. So I'm going to hit L to lock it so it doesn't move. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it to screen. And hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, it looks like you can. And I'll go ahead and type in tabletopadmiral.com. And as you can see, it takes us to the Tabletop Admiral list builder. If you guys don't know about this list builder, it is awesome. You should definitely be using it. You can just go ahead and create a list in the list builder, just like normal, and then save it. Or you don't even have to save it. You can just take the, this is the URL you want to go for. I'm going to just load a pre-built list that I already had. Let's take Weequay Hunter list. It's just in there for science, guys. I don't actually play that list. So now that we have it loaded, you don't want to copy the URL up here. You're going to go and copy the URL from the bottom here. Close that window. Control V, and then click import. And what should happen? There we go. Army imported successfully. It's going to load all of your cards, your deployment cards, your figures, and your command cards down here in the player area. Now you'll notice that Jabba for some reason didn't load. So if that happens, what you do is you go over here, and these are all the figures for the 3 factions. You notice they're infinite, so you can just grab a bunch. Oops. There we go. And these are actually modular. So these are really awesome. I love these. You don't have to dig through like a bag and search for the figure. You just grab one. And just like we did with the map, we're going to go through the states here. And you can see it lists all the figures for that faction in that one figure. So there's Jabba. There he is. And then we're going to take him over. And now we've got our full list ready to rock and roll. Super convenient. Actually, I think this is something that this module has over Vassal that Vassal can't do. So hey, Trevor, maybe check that out. All right, so the other cool thing is, well, it looks like Jabba doesn't do that, but the other cool thing that it has set up is it actually has snap to grid for these maps that are pre-set up. It won't do this on just the regular maps, but if you do a pre-set up map, you can see Onar, his shadow there, will snap to the grid, which is really nice. Okay, so once we've done that, the other question is, how do you access your command cards and look at them without your opponent looking at them? So in order to do that, we don't want the whole deck. We'll just grab card. And what you're going to do is you're going to drag it either to this invisible box here, or you can drag it down to the bottom of the screen and it'll automatically throw it into that box. So now what that does is it creates a hand for you, and then you can just hit F to flip the cards. And the nice thing is that you'll be able to see them, and you can actually just go down here and see a nice larger view. You'll be able to see them, but your opponent will not be able to see them until you drag them from your hand onto the table. And I'll show you what it looks like from the opponent's perspective. We'll go ahead and switch. We'll change color to the red player. And so the red player will just see either the command card back or this kind of gray back. And then as soon as they come out, when the player plays them on the table, it suddenly is revealed. But when it goes back, nothing. You can, it seems, reach into your opponent's hand and grab their cards and drag them out. So please do not do that. That would be very rude, just like it would be in a real life game. All right, so now the next thing to look at is how to handle activations and damage. So this, oh, look at Boba's floating out there. Just delete that. Oh, and the other thing you'll notice is the weak ways do not seem to spawn too. So that's very easy. You just select it, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and same thing. And now you'll notice that there are, on the side here, there's actually two areas that are going to track for the blue player and the red player, all the activations and damage. So when you want to activate a figure, you'll go here to the side, and let's say I'm going to activate Greedo. I'll click on Greedo, and it will exhaust his card, and it will gray out his name here on the side, so you'll know he's been activated. And the cool thing is, if you use the Q or E keys or whatever keys you have set to rotate, if you do that, it automatically shows that he's ready, and if you turn him sideways, it shows he's exhausted. And I really love that. So you can do that to very easily manage your activations. And then the other thing we have here is the damage is actually tracked here in this tracker rather than on the figures. And these trackers, by the way, follow your camera, so it's always on screen. No matter what you're looking at, you'll be able to see which figures are activated and the damage they have. I'm not sure how it's handled. I think for multi-figure groups. So what you do is, if you want to track damage, you'll right click to decrease the health, and then as you can see, if they die, once it goes to 0, it'll show that they're defeated and they are blacked out. And you can left click to increase the health. For these multi-figure groups where you need to have damage tracked, there are actually damage tokens available, and you can drag them, and if you stack them, it'll just show 2 damage, so that makes it convenient for that. The next thing to know is points are tracked over here, and it automatically does the same thing. You right click to go down, left click to go up. I don't believe it tracks it on the screen, so you actually have to go over and look at what the score is. But what it does track on the screen are actually the dice. So all the dice are here. So let's say I want to roll, let's say I want to roll that. What you'll do is, I actually like to blow them up a little bit, so you can do that with the plus sign. Highlight them all, and then hit R, which will give you a roll. And then the cool thing is, it actually shows up here the total results. So as you can see, 6 damage, 1 surge, 2 total accuracy, and every time you roll, it will replace that on the left there. 5 damage, 0 surges, 4 accuracy, etc. So that's a really cool way to track the dice. And then there's also a timer that's up here, and you can set that for timed games. So you can do current time. You can put up the actual time that it is, or you can set a timer. And it's in seconds, so I don't know. You have to do the conversion of however many seconds 65 minutes is, but that way you can set a timer. And then the last thing, so let's say we'll put a figure on the table here. You can actually do line of sight. There is a line tool. So you click on the line tool, and then you can actually check. Ooh, there we go. You can do line of sight measurements very easily. You can also do, let's see, ruler. I'm not sure how to make it stay, but there is a way to make the line stay on there, so you can check and show it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. And as you can see, that's what happens when the time is up. It gives you a nice little thing. Something that I like to do in Tabletop Simulator is you can actually set cameras. So like, let's say you don't want to be fiddling around with your camera. You can say save camera. And then if you're over here or whatever, and then you just hit Shift 1, it'll snap it back to that saved camera. You have up to 9 slots for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. It's a really great module. I think Travis did a really great job, and I know he's still adding to it with more scripted maps. Stuff that I didn't cover, all the tokens you need are over here. Again, rebel tokens, faction tokens, and again, these are all modules, so you can change them with a click of a number button. Same thing for mission tokens. They're all colored. All the rule books are actually here, which is amazing. So as you can see, the rule books are here ready for you to use, and they're great. They're push button. Oops. Oh, there's the rules reference guide. I guess I dragged that out too. But yeah, you can go through them and you can easily read them. And yeah, so that's the basics on how the Tabletop Simulator module works. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I do encourage everyone to at least try it out, maybe try and play some games. Once again, Travis's module has made this just very smooth and I think enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to trying it. I've not actually had the pleasure of playing a skirmish game against a live opponent in this module, but I do look forward to it. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's the tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions about the module, and check the link in the description. Peace out.